So neck pain. Oftentimes neck pain is going to result, of course, from degenerative changes in the spine, maybe from straining yourself in the gym, which would be more muscle related. And of course the ubiquitous anterior head carriage that everybody's dealing with these days because of computers and our cell phones have become such a big part of our life. There's 1,000 videos and 1,000 pages on Google right now talking about anterior head carriage and its detrimental effect on the way your skull will glide forward, usually towards a screen. So it could be a tremendous amount of hours looking down at your phones and checking your Instagram, to looking at a computer screen and jutting your head forward to try to see the computer screen. Both of these things wreak their havoc on the neck in a couple of different ways. But Vladimir Janda studied this, and I have another page here, it's on my website, and I'll do a couple of videos on Vladimir Janda's work, is the anterior head carriage, and what will happen is it's called an upper cross syndrome. So in the upper cross, your head is being jut forward, so I have a shortening of my suboccipitals, my sternocleidomastoid, and my scalenes, and I have a weakness of my deep neck flexor in the front. So we're going to try to reverse that today, and Sean's going to demonstrate a chin tuck head roll. This comes out of Vladimir Janda's book of how do we take these patterns that we see from the chronic use of computers and cell phones and turn it into an exercise routine that will not only help you to restore the movement pattern of the neck, but also get rid of the pain and oftentimes headaches as well, which result from those shortened suboccipital muscles. So a couple things to note here. You're going to notice that Sean's head's making a backward angle here of 90 degrees because his young neck has complete perfect disc space in between it. There's no injuries here. And so many of you guys can look at this, and I've got another video here on neck range of motion that'll show that when the cervical spine, when your vertebrae of your neck, the cervical vertebrae, begin to degenerate, they fall forward and we lose that curvature. And when we lose that curvature, it inhibits our ability to look up. And so in one of my videos about coupled motions, I discuss this a little bit, and the ability to turn your head is also a resultant of you being able to look up. Sean's exhibiting, of course, perfect range of motion here in his head. Now, Sean, I want you to tuck your chin, but don't lift your head. So go all the way back and just tuck your chin. Yeah. So notice he didn't raise his head at all. He just tucked the chin. It's important to master this in basically three different phases. Phase number one is to learn how to tuck without lifting. Lifting is sternocleidomastoid scalenes. Tucking is the deep neck flexor. It's very important that you get that down because the deep neck flexor is an antagonist for the suboccipitals. So when one group fires, the other group has to shut off, and that's an important concept. Agonist-antagonist relationships, the agonist being the deep neck flexor, the antagonist being the muscle that would go the opposite way, or the suboccipitals. So now do a chin tuck, now begin the roll, and then roll, yeah. So the chin tuck head roll completion is number one, chin tuck. Number two, begin the head roll. And three, finish it strong. So he's really sweeping his head almost 180 degrees. His face is almost now 90 degrees to his body. And he started with his face being 90 degrees away from his body. So that's a full 180 degree of rotation. That's the goal of this. Many of you that are older, that are dealing with degenerative changes, are not going to be able to perform this. That's still okay. This is a fantastic exercise to, again, re-lengthen the suboccipital group by using the deep neck flexor, and also to down-regulate how often you're using those jut muscles, which is the sternocleidomastoid and scalenes, the two groups. The platysma may be involved with this as well. There's a very broad, very funky looking shaped muscle. It's the one that kind of makes those ugly striations in your neck. Most people don't like to even use it. But the platysma is a very powerful muscle, and it actually originates all on the lower portion here of your jaw and drapes down here towards the clavicles on both sides. And it's got this sheet-like muscle that when it contracts kind of makes some ugly striations in your neck. But it is a powerful ability to pull your head forward as well. But for Janda and his exercise sake, there was more of a focus upon the deep neck flexor and during this chin tuck exercise to restore the normal motions of the neck.